The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Don't you think Elias Pettersson and Evander Kane would be best friends? Like, close your eyes. They could be in a sitcom. You know what I'm saying?
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks on this episode of Locked On Canucks, filmed at the Don't Doze Art Lab, the place that gives you that West Coast bias day in and day out. Yes, we take care of our neighbors because we understand that's the key to success. Okay, that's utopic energy. Speaking of which, Monarch Money, right? It's bringing you this episode as well. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. On today's episode of LOC, let's do it. Let's bring up Evander Kane again. And can we do it to some extent? Can we imagine that Kane, the polarizing figure, again, part of, I don't want to say one of the most pivotal trades in Canucks history, because that's extreme, but hey, if he fixes Elias Pettersson, that would be the case, right? It would. A lot of cachet around that trade. A lot of main character energy, a lot of villain energy, quote unquote, right? All of the above. And again, it was a salary dump for a 4th round pick. We got the salary dump. The Oilers got the 4th round pick. And again, this trade is so critical. Could it be deadly? Could it be optimal? Again, all of the above. Who knows? The future, man. The future is something else. We don't know about it, right? That all being said, I can envision the unthinkable. And don't you think, again, Elias Pettersson needs some of that Evander Kane confidence? Just some of it. Not all of it. But he could definitely take a dose. A hit of that Evander Kane. Speaking of hit, can we bring this up to this scenario? Again, it's July 9th. Stoner theory stuff obvious on the show with the West Coast bias. But could you imagine a scenario? When do the Rangers and the Canucks play? Can we bring that up right now? Rangers, Canucks. Is the schedule out? I don't know. Anyways, could you imagine Evander Kane dropping mitts while being line mates, yes, with Elias Pettersson, but dropping the mitts and getting into a scrap with JT Miller? Yeah, a part of me feels as if the NHL needs to do their due diligence, because I don't know if the schedule's out yet. Is it out yet? They need to make sure game one of the Canucks season, the Rangers season is against each other. Again, Miller and Kane would be something else. Kane beating up JT Miller without, any critical injury or nothing, just a good old hockey fight, giving momentum to the building or to the squad, right? I wonder if that shifts everything for Elias Pettersson. And thanks a lot, Canucks Bo. He's saying that the NHL schedule is coming out on July 16th. So yeah, NHL, if you're listening to us here on LOC, just do us all a favor and give us Elias Pettersson versus JT Miller again, aka Evander Kane versus JT Miller. Again, Evander Kane, can he fix Elias Pettersson? Skill set wise, can we talk about that in a couple minutes? Because I still want to talk about the charisma, the personality, the exuberance. And we saw a deflated Elias Pettersson game in and game out last year. Okay, we did. And there was that little spurt before he got hurt against the Rangers. There was that little spurt when JT Miller was away for 10 games where Pettersson was confident. But again, the bravado wasn't there. To the media, to the people, he always just looked stressed. He always looked annoyed to play the game of hockey. And yeah, it's on him. He's got to be way better at that. Just be a leader, be a stoic, instill some confidence in us. Don't look defeated. All in all, though, again, he was in a dressing room where he was a public enemy number one with the biggest alpha in the room. Or as he thought, right? JT Miller just had all that energy in that room, and just who knows what happened in that room, but I could just guarantee we already know this. Rutherford and Alvin talked about it. It was just too much for both players, but specifically Elias Pettersson to handle. You got to feel yourself. I've watched Austin Powers. Come on, we've all watched Austin Powers. You got to have the mojo to be yourself. You got to be instinctual. You got to not be thinking about obviously anything other than the game, but you don't want to be thinking about BS, unnecessary things, boy drama, male aura drama, catty-like behavior, unprofessional-like ish. You don't need any of that, especially, again, when you want to be as instinctual. And like it or not, there's nobody as instinctual as Evander Kane. Maybe in the NHL. When it comes to behavior, being himself in the dressing room. Not giving a puck about what the media thinks of him. How they're, talking to him. He understands that, he controls the narrative to some extent. I mean, with Evander Kane, it's a little different. But, he understands his status. And I know we're all equal, but there's hockey players in the media, and then there's the fans, and we're all equal. Yeah. But for whatever reason, Elias Pettersson, again, the confidence, the bravado, even though it was hard to face the microphones, face the tweets, face the articles. I get it. And yeah, you should be reading those less, but the best of the best in hockey, when you get paid 11.6 elite leaders, superstars, even if it's affecting them, they don't wear it on their face and present it with their spiel. They don't look to be broken in game 30, right? To the fan base. Because what does that do? For whatever reason, it divides us even further. Because we wanna have our guys who are taking care of our dreams in this thing called sports fandom to just be about it. And even through their struggles, be cocky. Show some strength. Don't give us the signal that you're breaking. I wonder if Evander Kane can ensure, just by being in the room, I wonder if Nikita Zadorov could have done this last year too if he was with the Canucks for a full year. Again, just having that power is a strong word, and I think the word power in 2025, it's kind of taken out of context, and it's so sensitive now. But just understand the role, dude. The athletes, the players, the millionaires, though, the people who put the team, the sport on the map, who employ everyone, right? Employ all the commentators, all the media pundits. Hey, some fans with podcast mics understand that the athletes, again, they're at the top of the food chain, and just don't let us win. Elias Pettersson, don't let us win. Evander Kane, again, say what you want. He understands that. He understands where he's on this pecking order. And I just hope he allows Elias Pettersson not to give a puck anymore about any negative stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. Back in the day, can we search this up? Wasn't Elias Pettersson like this one guy was ripping it up, wearing Balenciaga, rocking New Tone? Wasn't he like taking photos and having like instances where he was caught reading or having the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a, come on, not giving a puck? I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. All in all, though, Elias Pettersson, just don't give a puck, okay? Should we talk about the skill part of this, right? Like the Evander Kane, Elias Pettersson thing. Is there any world where there's like some Bertuzzi Naslin like energy there? There's some protector like energy coming there from Evander Kane. Pettersson's more confident in his game, knowing that he has that guy with him. Some defense, right? Some protection again. Like, is there chemistry on the ice? Evander Kane's still a really good skater. There's still moments in the playoffs, especially coming off an injury at a significant one, where Evander Kane looked like he was 86 overall, 87 overall. Like he did his thing. He drove some play. He made things happen. So, is there a world where they have chemistry? Kuzmenko, Pettersson-esque? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But if it happens and Evander Kane has a contract year and Elias Pettersson has this like, yo, I gotta stick the middle finger up to all, to all my doubters, but more notably my past self, right? Be more accountable, Elias Pettersson. Don't be mad at us. Be mad at yourself. Do it for yourself. But what if Elias Pettersson and Evander Kane at the same time, they want to prove the world, wrong, get to another level, showcase their talents, erase the past, earn your money. In Pettersson's case, live up to 11.6. And to Evander Kane's case, earn a new contract. Dude, you could see something special happen. But Pettersson, when he's at his best, he's creating space. He's making plays. He's dishing out the puck. He has a good shot, too. He's feeling himself. He's an offensive dynamo. But the playmaking ability is there. And Evander Kane, he knows how to shoot the puck. He knows what to do in front of the net, too. Again, contract year coming up. There could be something here. So again, like this Evander Kane thing that no one's talking about, and don't blame him because he's still Evander Kane. He's not consistently a top 6 guy over the last couple of years, but there's been hot streaks, big hot streaks. But in those last couple of years, he wasn't playing for a contract. And there's one guy who enjoys contract years. It's Evander Kane. Maybe it's a Vancouver thing, right? Maybe it's a Vancouver thing. He's going to pop off. Okay. So, and again, based on previous years, maybe the expectations are low. And the only thing we can lean on is the whole contract year type of thing. But the athleticism and I don't know, the bravado, the home team thing, the home field advantage. Duffin's Donuts before the games. Maybe he knows some hacks, Maybe he just oozes or feeds off what is oozing from, again, where he is from. Evander Kane, man, can we say this again? Like, look at what we just saw Brad Marchand do. These older players, man, they still get the job done. Don't be scared of Evander Kane being, 34, 35 years old? I know he's had 18 million surgeries, but there could be something here. And the last point I was going to make was, again, I'm all over the place. Again, some of us have lower expectations. A lot of that also has to do with Patrick Allvin, right? Saying, he's a middle 6, top 9 type of guy. Not really throwing him at the top of our lineup. Not connecting his potential ability to play with Pettersson, or just the opportunity to do so. Like, we haven't heard any of that. So our expectations are, they're middle 6. And I just, again, want to say, you just never, ever know. And you look at this lineup, like, who else does Pettersson have chemistry with? Not really anyone. And that includes Brock Besser. That includes Jake DeBrusk. Like, Evander Kane's going to get his chance in that, like, Rolodex. You know what I'm saying? He'll have that opportunity in contract year, Evander Kane, bro. Come on, a contract year, Evander Kane, like training camp, right? Day 7, gets a chance to be on the top line. Bro, I'm not saying he's gonna do steroids. I'm just saying he might just feed off that opportunity and make sure he doesn't let go of it. Anyways, let me know in the comments. Elias Pettersson. Is there something there? Is that the thing that we're not talking about? You look at their personalities, kind of opposite. Evander Kane has a lot to play for. Does he understand like Pettersson and what he's gone through over the last 17, 18 months? Like, does he understand all of that? And like, does he know that he could probably be a fan favorite if he saves Elias Pettersson? I'm sure he does. Anyways, on the other side, let's go through some Canucks lines that I've been thinking about. Trevor Beggs in Australia. He had some ideas too, but I don't think they have Australia. They don't have Wi-Fi in Australia. No. He texted me earlier. He said he can't make it. Sometimes I don't like excuses, but he did say his Wi-Fi fell in the water, and I'm like, okay, I understand. That happens sometimes. So maybe when he's back later in the week, he'll give you his lines. But we'll do all that on the other side. Again, you're listening to Locked On Canucks. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. You got to manage your money, and you got to do it better, and it's easier to do so with, again, Monarch Money. Right? Because do you ever wish that it was easier to do so? Do you want to grow your savings? You planning to do something big in the purchase game? Well, Monarch Money, it puts you in the driver's seat. Okay, it's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control of your finances, okay? It's more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. Wow. In your pocket. Okay, you can track all your accounts, all your investments, and all your spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. It's simple, okay? If you also share your finances with someone, Monarch Money can help you guys get on the same page. The interface, the connectivity, it's all there. Think about it. Close your eyes. What's that one financial goal that you're dreaming about? You want that new fence, right? You want to start, I don't know, splurging a little, right? You want to go to Dairy Queen every day? There's a way to do it. Monarch Money, okay? So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for 50% off your first year. Let's get back to the show. People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Canucks, and we waited way too long to do what we're always supposed to do, and that's connect with the people and read your comments, so I apologize. But hey, forgive me. Look at this comment from Brian, okay? We don't need our team fighting Miller, okay? That was a super unfortunate thing that happened last year. Miller's still my boy, I won't lie. He's a great Canuck. We need to just win games against the Rangers. Yeah, okay. I know. That's kind of harsh of me because fighting in hockey is just like the UFC. It's just like boxing. It's super, super dangerous. It's very, very gladiator-like. It's stupid. So, coming from somebody that's only been punched in the face once, and again, is just a fan of a team and bought a podcast microphone and has a YouTube account, it's pretty crazy for me to say, yo, let's line this up. Evander Kane versus JT Miller. JT Miller, the same guy that gave us, I would say some great memories. Some only had one playoff run, or, the bubble playoffs to some extent counted. So I'll say like 1.5 playoff runs. And there were moments there. Again, game 5 on my birthday, 2024 against the Oilers. Do the math. Remember that? That was huge. And behind all that were a ton of points and a lot of skill, a lot of value, a lot of passion. And yeah, I'm already like, yo, let's line it up. Evander Kane, JT Miller, cage match, TLC. Burn the tables. Get the tables. Hell in a Cell. Where am I going with this? Yo, it's hockey. And I'm telling you, Evander Kane, he knows the narrative. And he's already one of the bad boys of hockey. I don't know how much more you could do to hold on to being a part of that title, or the people holding that title, that is. But if he does it, all those haters, all those Evander Kane haters, they might still be hating, but they'll feel something because that's a hometown guy fighting JT Miller while playing on a line with Elias Pettersson. And yeah, just again, that's like, what's that reality show that everyone's talking about? That's Love Island, right? Dude, it's the opposite of Love Island. But again, everyone is watching. If it bleeds, it leads. I'm sorry. That's what I was turning. I learned that in broadcasting school, BCIT. If it leads, it bleeds, or if it bleeds, it leads. It will just be the topic of conversation. It will be a moment, a standout moment in the NHL. Again, I don't know. Could you see Evander Kane doing it? Could you see JT Miller doing it? I think so. And John is saying it would be nice. John, man, I think you and I are both going to hell. We're either going to hell or we just made Don Cherry proud. Hey, next question or comment. This one comes from Callum. Apparently, it's your birthday, okay? Callum Sandu saying all he wants is a Stanley Cup and a random goat bleat. Okay, do we have the goat button? Do we still press these buttons? I think so. There you go. Speaking of, first of all, happy birthday. Again, if you guys don't know who Callum Sandu is, he's actually subscriber number 1 on Locked On Canucks. I think so. I don't know. He's just like the first fan here. The first person. Assistant captain of the community, right? He's also somebody that did spend and Callum, again, this is why you got to hit the like button, because I care. I remember these things. I think he spent $18,000 on a pair of tickets to go watch the Canucks play the Islanders this year. And him and his lovely wife went to Cactus Club before the game. And, just the dough. Money's expensive right now. I think that I should put that on a shirt. This guy's spending all that money. And boom, what happened? The Canucks embarrassed Callum and the love of his life by putting on one of the worst performances in recent Canucks regular season history against a depleted Islanders team. And it was definitely like, I don't want to say it was a sign of things to come, because before the Islanders game, we kind of saw moments where the Canucks just again, they weren't a team. They weren't a team all season long. They were playing broken hockey. They weren't, there's no cooperation. There's no bravado. There's no brotherhood there. But yeah, that was just an embarrassing game and led to an embarrassing season. Okay, so Callum, you should probably send a letter to Francesco Aquilini and just be like, yo, can I get at least $10 back for that BS? Anyways, speaking of BS, I know it's early July, soon to be the middle of July. But let's do this, okay? Canucks lineup predictions. Trevor's idea, but again, he's not here. His Wi-Fi fell in the water, but I'm down to do it. And I want you guys to get involved too after this video is done, or just even on the live chat right now. Just comment your lines, and we'll just do this for the rest of the episode. Go back and forth in the comments, and yeah, July. What else you want? What do you want to talk about? Me and my girlfriend? How about I'm also trying to go to the Calgary Stampede, and while going to one of my good friends' weddings at the same time. You guys want to talk about that? You guys want to talk about the books I'm reading? Canucks lineup predictions, okay? Line number 1. We already talked about it. Evander Kane, Elias Pettersson, but who's playing with them? And I think this one is obvious, okay? It's Connor Garland. And I say it's obvious because right now I'm just, daydreaming about the West Coast Express. Does Garland give you something similar to what Brendan Morrison gave Naslin and Bertuzzi? Different positions, again, different players, but I could see some similarities. I could. I also think it's fair to say, and again, this is not just me being hopeful. I actually think Garland is just that much of a hockey nerd and is so grateful to be a part of the organization, but just, to be a part of the league. The fact that this guy's now a $6 million player for, a very long time, uh, he's going to want to live up to that contract. Like, he's not going to cash it in and, feel content. I think he's got a lot of pride, and we may see another level from Connor Garland this year. Okay, and even if we don't, but he's playing around better players and a better Pettersson, like, his point totals are going to go up. I wonder what the Canucks, again, looked like last year if Miller and Pettersson were on their game, and how Garland was just doing his thing early on in the season. He needed some help, and he barely got any when it came to, like, play driving forwards. And if he got some help, he would have definitely gotten 60 to 70 points. Like, that's how impressive he was early on. That's how much, shifting and moving and puck delivering he was doing, puck distributing, just having the puck on his stick. He was just really good. I think he's going to have a really good season. And, maybe he's a big reason why Pettersson finds this game again. Okay. So that whole narrative about, oh, Pettersson doesn't have wingers. He doesn't have wingers. To a large extent, I think it's safe to say, that's kind of true if you're one of those people who really do believe that, like, star players need star companions, right? Like, they don't have to do all the work. They don't have to carry everyone. But at the end of the day, like Pettersson, you're going to have a guy in Evander Kane who's playing for his hometown team, and he's going to be itching for a contract. Again, watch the YouTube videos. This guy wants that contract, okay? ESPN 30 for 30. Yo, Evander Kane wants that contract. Like, you're going to see a motivated guy there. And if you have Garland going, Pettersson, you got to get going. And something tells me that line will just feed off each other if all goes well. How about line number 2, though? Filipino, Brock Besser, and Jake DeBrusk. Why not? And I know a lot of us, we want to spend a lot of time talking about Filipino. What are we getting in him? What are we getting in him? He's the X factor. Some people also want to talk about Jake DeBrusk, right? A quiet career year. A guy who also said he could have been way better. He wasn't completely content by scoring so many goals in front of the net. Jake DeBrusk, a lot of moving and grooving last summer, going from Boston to the West Coast and all that jazz. Maybe he's preparing different this summer. It's a little bit easier for him to, just think hockey and not think about life during these crucial parts in the offseason, and maybe he's better next year. Yeah, sure. But how about Brock Besser? Besser, man, signs that quote-unquote discount. There's some feeling within me that, again, he wants to up his leadership abilities. And, yeah, it'd be cool if he was a better glue guy in the room and could, calm down situations before they hit the fan. Something that he wasn't able to do with, his best pals, Elias Pettersson and JT Miller. But hey, how about you just I don't know, lead on the ice? How about you give us another 40 goals? Right? Is that impossible for, a guy who was once known as the Brock Star, aka a star? Like, is there any chance where Brock Besser is better? And again, a lot of people don't like to think that 28-year-olds can be better. Okay, you can't teach a old tiger new tricks, or you can't give a dog new stripes, whatever the quote is. I don't like to think that, okay? At the age of 32, bro, things can happen. And Brock Besser, again, given the security, given the support from the fans, is there a level of accountability from that guy to be a lot better? Maybe. And what if? Like, you got to start thinking like that. Because line number 2, to me, again, it's like Hedl and Besser and DeBrusk. Like, who really is the X factor on that line? Who really, like, allows that line to actually be something that we don't think it can be? It's not Hedl, it's Brock Besser. And when he's really good, I think he's really good. Again, 13, 14 months ago, just so damn impressive. Such a good defensive player. made offensive plays too. Obviously fed off JT Miller having a career year too in that year. That's the obvious, but there were the little things there that he was doing so exceptionally well. Those types of things create space for your line mates, right? You're always positive in the Corsi, whatever that means. No, he's just a really strong player, and strong players with other strong players do strong things. And Chytil and DeBrus are good players. They're good players who could benefit from, again, Brock Besser being that guy. Anyways, let's get to some more comments, then we'll get to a break. And we're already at the 30-minute mark. I guess we're going to be here for a long time. It is what it is. Sorry, LOC, but it's July 9th. If the boys are working overtime, trying to prep for next summer, I got to do the same thing. Anyways, your comments. Melvon absolutely having no faith. Okay, Brock needs JT to get to 40. Those days are gone. Okay. And how about this, though? Nothing is perfect. Everyone go subscribe to Nothing is Perfect, okay? You want to talk about a strong offseason. This guy was one of the leaders on the YouTube side of things, taking care of us, okay? He's saying Evander Kane, EP40, and Brock Besser, it could be the new Lotto Line 2.0. Wow. Unreal. That's making me think. Anyways, more lineup talk. On the other side, we got to take a break for the podcast side of things. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Canucks. Hey, if you're here, hit the like button, subscribe, and tell a friend that you may want to listen to these two guys talk about your favorite hockey team. Again, though, we'll keep this going on the other side. People, we back doing this. Talking about your Canucks. One love to you and you and you and you and you and you for allowing us, to live our dreams. Connect. Talk puck. That's what this is all about. Speaking of you and you and you and you, let's get to some more comments before we finish out the lineups. Man, oh man. Callum Sandu saying we got to find the next Kyle Wellwood. You know what's crazy about that? Like, Kyle Wellwood, would he be a shoo-in on this team? At his best? Like an absolute shoo-in? It really depends on how you feel about Aatu Ratu, right? And I think I saw some comments involving Ratu somewhere here, and this comes from SK93, okay? He's saying DeBrusque, Aatu Ratu, and Brock Besser could be a thing. That's making me think, too. I wonder what type of offseason Aatu Ratu is having. Because, yeah, it's confirmed, right? Pius Suter, a blue, a St. Louis blue. And that's given Ratu a spot. And the more and more I think about Aatu, like, again, a strong end to the season. A strong start to the season, too. Remember him in training camp? Just impressive, disciplined, focused, hardworking, innovative with the way he was doing his whole face-off thing. Like, he was an asset. And again, his ability to just get demoted, but then come back stronger. I like guys like that. That's resiliency. That's bouncing back in tough times, too. Again, he had strong spurts at the end of the season at times where the team was fighting for a playoff spot. Not the easiest of scenarios for any player because, you're a young guy and there's so much turnover. Before the turnover, I remember in the beginning of the season, again, he made the team out of training camp, and it was a quiet start for a lot of players in the beginning of the season, just so much drama and bullshit. But there was that one goal he scored against Pittsburgh. You remember that? Some of that flair. I just feel like he was more than relevant. He was more than surface level. And again, I wonder what type of offseason this guy's having. And I feel as if a lot would have to go his way, unfortunately, for him to get a top 6 spot and to be, around Besser and DeBrusque all season long. That unfortunate thing would be, Filip Chytil going down. Because I think I'm more excited for Filip Chytil to have opportunity than Aatu Ratu, to be honest. That all being said, I think this guy will do the most with it to the extent in which he deserves, based on, again, how much work he's putting in this offseason. He's got to get better. Like, is he resting on his morals? Is he thinking that he already made it, right? You know what I'm saying? Or is he just knowing that, like, yeah, last year was sort of nice. Again, paced for like 15 goals if he played the whole season. But dude, I'm better than this. And if this guy wants to be a top 6 player, he's got to be better. And got to bring this up too. It would be so cool, so opposite of the Vancouver Canucks legacy or aura, that we all have been sucked into. It'd be the total opposite of what we're accustomed to. If Aatu Ratu becomes really good, like, what if he's an 85 overall and 86 overall, and then it's like, we got Horvat. I mean, we got Hronek and Ratu for Horvat. That's a damn good trade. Like, how good can Aatu Ratu, a guy who had so much pedigree before his draft year, falls to the second round, again, at least a big part of the Bo Horvat trade, and again, he's been steady climbing. He has not been invisible. He's been progressing. Like, is there a really good player here? Dude, 50% chance there's a really good player here. On the other end of that 50%, I think, there's a good player. Speaking of which, look at this, right? We already talked about Hedl and Pettersson on the top 2 lines. We're predicting lines here. Do yourself a favor and get in on the comments and predict them yourselves. But that means Aatu Ratu is your third line center, right? You got to believe that. And a part of me wants to see him with Sherwood and Dakota Joshua. And now I'm kind of reminiscing. Just a bit. You remember that game against Columbus, that crazy game? We ended up losing it. We lost a point. I think we were up 3 goals twice. That all being said, in the third period, Dakota Joshua comes up huge, and so does Aatu Ratu. Right? And now I'm thinking about their size. I'm thinking about also what Kiefer Sherwood could do with Joshua and Ratu, and there could be some fun things happening there. There's a bit of identity, something different. I like that. Now, Kiefer Sherwood would obviously be the driver. I think somebody like Aatu Ratu could benefit so much from knowing that he has a guy on his line that does not take a shift off. You want to talk about somebody who also is playing in a contract year, who's going to have a big one? It's Kiefer Sherwood, okay? So again, Ratu, this young center, this is his opportunity. At least he knows. Every time he hits the ice early on, when he gets his chance on the third line, Kiefer Sherwood's got his back, whether it be physically or just with that the effort. That would be inspiring. That's good for Ratu to be around, and there definitely could be something there. I'm really focused on Aatu Ratu when it comes to the third line. If you guys want more conversation about Sherwood and Joshua, again, 2 guys that could find a way on other lines, and Kiefer Sherwood, like, he could find his way on the top line. There was a moment where I was like, is it Evander Kane, Elias Pettersson, and Kiefer Sherwood? Because you could also see Philip Hedl and Connor Garland having a lot of chemistry too. Like, Sherwood is just one of those guys. All in all, though, when we're talking about the third line, and assuming in July, let's start to just think about Aatu Ratu a lot, okay? Line number 4, obviously centered by Teddy Bluger now. We got Drew O'Connor, Dylan O'Connor, and then we got. I almost didn't do it because sometimes I think about R.C. Baines or Max Sasson a little differently, right? I'm like, are these guys as good as Niels Höglander? Which sounds stupid because Höglander's got a lot of skill, and when he's at his best, he's kind of like Garland. I wouldn't mind having a couple Garlands on the team, but I'm gonna keep Höglander on the 4th line to start the season. I gotta do it. Höglander, Joshua, we talked about it briefly yesterday. They gotta be better. They gotta deliver, due in large part because the team needs it, but also because Baines and Carlson are chomping at the bit. Hey, Max Sasson, he could play on the wing too. That all being said, let's just stick with Höglander, Blueger, and Drew O'Connor. And Drew O'Connor, we don't talk about him a lot. I don't even want to call him a boring player. I think he's got a high motor. I think he has a little bit of Mason Raymond to him where he's going to get a lot of chances, but there's not going to be a lot of finish. Most importantly, I do think he's a lot better than Danton Heinen. Again, I like the effort. I like the size. I like his skating ability. I think he's going to be strong along the boards. We saw that at spurts last year. You know what you're going to get, but I don't know what you're going to get with Teddy Blueger and Nils Höglander. And Teddy Blueger's another guy, right? If he doesn't make the most out of this saying, like, what's the opportunity? You're the fourth line center. Like, but if he doesn't make the most out of this opportunity, still being an everyday NHLer, like, what contract is going to be in front of him? Right? Where does his NHL future go? And yeah, Max Hassan is chomping at the bit. All in all, though, I think it's safe to say that the fourth line's a little confusing. Speaking of being confusing, if we run through the decor, this episode's going to go to 60 minutes. So I'm gonna stop it there. On tomorrow's episode, we'll go through the decor. Okay, we'll call it Vancouver's D is perfect when it looks like this. Okay, that's the episode title. But before we get there, before we end the episode, let's get to some comments here again on Locked On Canucks. I like this, okay? In Prick Fetty, we trust. I think that's his name. He's got all the lines predicted for himself here. We got line number 1, he has Jake DeBrusk, Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser. Line number 2, he has Philip Hedl, Evander Kane, and Connor Garland. Again, Hedl in the middle. Line number 3, he has Nils Höglander, Aatu Räty, and Kiefer Sherwood. I like this one, too. I think I want to switch it. Now. Because that could be a grimy line to play against if these guys are all going, especially Sherwood and Hogs. Like, close your eyes, smell the roses, think of the best things in life, think of the best hockey in life. That's when your team is doing a good job. Your team's the Vancouver Canucks. Imagine Kiefer Sherwood and Nils Höglander playing at their best, a.k.a. Höglander just doing something game in and game out. I think he can match the energy of Kiefer Sherwood. And again, that would make life a lot easier for Aatu Räty, a young centerman, but that'd be just so fun to watch. So fun to watch. They would be just causing a ruckus, doing their thing. I think providing some offense as well. Sure, you'd have some question marks on the defensive side of things. And that's part of the reason why I had Joshua up the lineup too instead of Hogs, because Räty may need some support, and I just think Joshua's a better defensive player than Höglander. But this could be fun. Anywho, line number 4 in Prick Fetty, we trust. Thanks for the comment. He has Joshua, Blueger, and Drew O'Connor. Okay. Let's give a commenter one more chance to predict the lines, okay? Because this is the fun time. This is sports fandom at its peak. Again, July, the season don't start for a couple months, and we're just talking about the lines, okay? Like, it's crazy. Like, I have a girlfriend. I've been dating her for 4 years. I don't even work on my pickup lines with her anymore, you know? Like, you just lose some of that Romeo, and you don't treat her like Juliet anymore, but you're okay doing these lines right here on Locked On Canucks. That's crazy. RJF is saying, how about Evander Kane, Kiefer Sherwood, and Elias Pettersson? We touched on that briefly. Like, Sherwood could get his way up the lineup and make the most out of that. We did see some chemistry between Pettersson and Sherwood too for a small bit, and that's when Pettersson was not at his best. Like, Sherwood was doing more of the lifting. I know Pettersson analytically a cerebral player, and Sherwood definitely benefited off him. But again, a highly energized PD on top of him being cerebral and smart. Sherwood didn't get that. Well, what happens when Sherwood has that? Again, I predicted 87,000 goals going into a contract year. Could you imagine that? Pettersson with Sherwood and Evander Kane. What would you call that line? Again, Pettersson's line mates both have contract years coming up, and Pettersson wants to prove everyone wrong. Like, that's crazy. That could be something. Anywho, RJF also has Aatu Räty with Brock Besser and Jake DeBrusk. And Philip Hedl playing with Garland and Joshua. Ooh, Philip Hedl, Garland, and Joshua? Yo, I like that one, actually. I like that one. I'm thinking about the best third line in hockey being a way better best third line in hockey. And I know we can't even use that statement anymore because 2024, Garland, Bluger, and Joshua, like, Lundell and Listerainen and whoever else was playing with them even last year. Like that's it, right? That's it. That's the best third line in hockey. And now they got Marchand this year. All in all, though, Dakota Joshua and Filipino and Connor Garland, like that could be something. And as Brian is saying, I like that third line too. Like that, RJF, he's saying book it. Email that to Adam Foote. Leave it at his doorstep. Anyways, my name's Kyle Bound, KYLEBHAWAN. Thanks so much for watching. 46 minutes. Oh, damn. Okay, if I'm not with you tomorrow, that means I got fired. But don't worry. I think Trevor's Wi-Fi, he can, put it in rice. It fell in water earlier. Wasn't able to, get the job done today. I'm sure he'll have our back tomorrow. Regardless, we'll be here every day because that's the promise. And again, one love to the Don't Does Art Lab. Always giving that West Coast bias. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for allowing us to live our dreams. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night. We don't know when you're watching this or listen to this if you're not with us on the live side of things. But as always, we truly do appreciate it. Peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.